You hear me?
Top of the morning to you, my
Top
brother.
of the morning, my brother.
Golly, let's jump on in, man. Cleveland, New York, man. Let's kind of talk about the ending of that series, brother.
Yeah, so first things first, I am so glad to know that the New York Knicks are back in the NBA Finals.
Absolutely.
They haven't been there
Good for them, man.
since '99. Okay, so
Good for basketball.
good for basketball because that's one of the original powerhouses of the NBA. When I think about just original teams
Absolutely.
that everyone knows about, everyone knows New York Knicks. New York Knicks. It's kind of like in football. Everybody knows Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys, Chicago Bears. You know what I mean? So they're in that type of category when it comes to just tradition and good basketball. What they got is great, but I am so disappointed in Cleveland.
Oh,
Because Cleveland showed me that they literally lack no heart on that team. That was an embarrassment from game 2 all the way to 4. It was just an embarrassment on the way they played. They played with no effort, no energy. I've heard many people, at least on social media, just complain, well, they went to a game 7 with the Detroit Pistons and this, that, and the other. That don't matter. Like, everyone is having a hoop right now. You know what I'm saying? What they did against the Knicks was a lack of effort. Now, I heard James Harden say, yeah, I feel like we got the better team. Well, at least if you feel like you had the better team, y'all could at least not get swept. It could have been, I don't mind if it's 4-1. But you got to win a game. You can't get blowed. To get blowed out at your own house by 30 plus points is absolutely unacceptable. But at the same time, there's one thing that I will say, and this is going to be a small grace period for Cleveland. The Knicks have been blowing out everybody like that in the series. This whole playoff series outside of the Atlanta Hawks, they have been virtually blowing out everybody.
they're moving like they figured it out.
They do.
They're moving on like they figured it out.
Yeah. OG Anunoby's balling. Karl Anthony Towns is hooping with confidence. Jalen Brunson is the true leader of that team. Josh Hart is a smooth, energetic piece. Mikal Bridges is balling.
Absolutely.
I'm just looking at, you got that Villanova chemistry along with team chemistry all in one.
Yep.
They're playing like they've been playing with each other for years. And so a team like that, plus a team with confidence and a team that's just hot, it's one of those things where at first I was looking at, dang, I don't care if they play the Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to get blowed out. But then when you really sit back after that last 4th game of sweeping a team like Cleveland, who's still a respectable basketball team, you start to think maybe the Knicks really are like that. Maybe they really are like that. I mean, it's not like they play with just a 5-man rotation. They have a few bench players that's been contributing on a very consistent basis, and they always are very energized. They always punch you back. That's the thing. They're like the Rocky Balboa of the NBA right now. They're gonna get hit, but they're gonna find ways to punch you back and to ignite themselves. I was thinking, Cleveland had one game where they was blowing them out by like 20 points.
First game. That was game 1.
Yeah, probably with about 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and it ends up going into overtime, and they end up losing by the same amount of points they were blowing them out with. That don't make no sense. I feel like that literally cut Cleveland to the white meat, and they never could recover after that. They just kept bleeding. They kept bleeding after that. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that series, bro. I mean, the Knicks is a well-deserved. They're going to be well-rested no matter who they play. It's going to be great. It's going to be great for basketball fans. It's going to be great for them because all those knickknacks that they're trying to recover right now, they're getting blessed to do that because we're looking at either OKC is going to close out the Spurs tonight or we're going to see what I feel like everyone already knew we was going to see, a game 7. Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said. It is a little bit disappointing. A lot of it disappointing about Cleveland. I was very optimistic speaking about them in the beginning of the series because I looked at talent on paper and I looked at, they've been fighting, they've been in it, trying to scrap, get past the first, second round of playoffs for a little bit now. And Mitchell's been putting it on his back and pretty much doing it, And so they have those pieces. And for them, they really just show and prove kind of what we've seen over the past few years. It's just a hard space. And that's why, at that point, is for me critical. And that's where a lot of times coaching comes involved, is maintaining a hierarchy of like a voice, leadership, a command on the squad. So in those critical moments where you need to uplift each other and you need to be that band of brothers to like grit down and stand up, it matters. It matters. It matters your attitude. And one thing I've seen out of them over the past couple seasons is a heart problem. Not a talent problem. On paper, they're a good team, and they should perform better. But it's a heart deal. And it's tough to watch. It's tough basketball to watch when you watch a team beat themselves because they are the better team. I mean, look at who they have in their backcourt for the scoring unit. Like, goodness gracious, they're gonna have to make, to me, some big changes. To me. Now, you can also take a page out of OKC's book and New York Knicks books, which is maybe stay a little bit more intact and keep on riding. Maybe don't make a bunch of changes. I know they just fired the coach, but maybe let these guys gel. That's one thing we saw with OKC. They made it, but they didn't make a lot of changes.
They didn't extend that coach one more season?
No, he's out of there. Let him go. OKC will get in there, right? And that's why I always look at the younger teams like Detroit, right, that are getting in early, and I'm like, it's good for them. They got to get in, learn poise, learn grit, you know what I mean, and then come back. OKC had to do that, right? We saw a lot of these young teams have to do that. Detroit's kind of in that mix. Dallas had to do that before they made it to the finals. New York, past couple seasons, they've been getting in there, right? Boston even had to do that. Like, you got to be battle tested, but you got to keep your soldiers. A lot of times they get to the playoffs and then they unravel the whole team. And we saw with Miami, LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. You got to give, I don't care how good these guys are, you got to give them time to find chemistry. And it's a dangerous thing when you have that much talent, they find chemistry. Look at Boston, right? When they found that chemistry, championship. Look at the Knicks. And that's the thing. We needed the Knicks to show us that you guys can gel and stay consistent with the domination, not do good one game, somebody take turns showing up. One game, this person goes off, next person, this person kind of have a dud, and they go off. You know what I mean? And you kind of hot potato the performance around. Now we're seeing that those guys have figured out their roles within that system and how to work succinctly around each other. And they know, and now they have a head, right? They got the leader, and now they can build the structure in the body of the team, which is, if the head of the snake is going to be Jalen Brunson, he's completely unstoppable. And I think he steps into those shoes proudly, courageously, and I think he's built for the leadership role. And I think it's good that we're trying to see like what has forged him, you know, over through his come up, you know, his adolescence, and seeing like his dad was on him, building that mentality, building that mindset. So he's built for the tough moments. And then to have his band of brothers that he has a comfort in working with because they've had a couple seasons together. That matters. It matters. They weren't perfect the past couple years. They could have unraveled. They could have sent they could have sent all these people everywhere like most teams do, right? When they don't get the championship, we're in a championship or bust era right now. But they held intact. And so it'd be cool to see if they go ahead and, you know, they're making it to the next level. Obviously, they're making it to the finals, which is a good testament to stay the course, man. The process does work sometimes when you do it right, you know. So good for them. And I'm glad to see that they're playing consistently up to the talent level that they really have, because they got talent all over that court. I mean, from every position. You named it. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. Then you got freaking Karl Anthony Towns. You got Big Body Brunson at the Bridges. Like, they're all super talented.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a finals. Their dominance through this past series cemented to me that they're in a different maturity level. And I love to see that. Now, swinging it over to OKC and San Antonio, we still got one more game tonight. How you feel? Who you think going to pull it out?
So, I'm going to tell you something. I really like the Spurs. I do. But I'm going to need for them to grow up a little bit faster. Here's the thing. They're so good that they shoot themselves in the foot in games that they really could actually be winning. For example, people blame the refs. I blame the youth of the San Antonio Spurs for losing this past game. And the reason why is because you got Castle, you got Bassel, you got that number 3 that's coming off the bench. Here's the thing that I'm looking at. Those young guards for San Antonio outside of De'Aaron Fox, whenever it's in transitional play, they don't see numbers as fast as they should on the floor. And what I mean is you get a defensive rebound, you dribble the ball down the court. OKC already got 3 or 4 defenders down there, and it's 1 against 4. Slow the basketball down. Because what's happening is you put yourself in a turnover position, or you put yourself in an offensive foul position, or you put yourself in a position where now OKC going to have numbers on y'all. Because by the time you come down there and all the rest of your teammates are trying to rush down there, as soon as you make a mistake, OKC is professional enough to already get back down the floor. Mm-hmm. And just like that, you go from cutting a 10-point deficit to 3 to getting right back into a 10, 12-point deficit within like a span of 45 seconds to 1 minute. That's insane. But that's letting me know how explosive that they're capable of being, but also letting me know that just as explosive they can be, it can be just as equal as their weakness at the same time. So, what do we need tonight? We need an aggressive Wemby. We need a very assertive Castle that doesn't get in foul trouble. Because he's feisty, but every once in a while he can get in foul trouble. Mm-hmm. That's just from him being a little feisty. He's still young, still trying to grow. Yeah. But I just need for them just to be a little bit more mature during transitional play. If they can do that, they'll be able to dominate OKC and force a Game 7.
Absolutely. I like San Antonio too. I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. Maturity is a thing. They are a young team and they're trying to figure it out. And I think we know that. We've seen the teams, like I said, the young teams, they get in there the first couple times. They do have to learn those lessons about like clock management. It's the small things. It's not just about who's talented and who can jump above the rim, and dominate, from shooting the ball. Like it's little things. When to foul, when not to foul. When is it smart to just let him get the 2 points rather than, you know what I mean? When to throttle up, when to throttle down. If they're on a run, how to slow it down and use that clock. Use all the time off the shot clock. They slow them down, get them out of their momentum, switch up the pace. So I think they're learning. I think we will see what adjustments they make. I'm gonna say majority of my comments about the refs for after the series.
I feel you.
For next session. But it's NBA is going to have to step in and not allow the game to be significantly impacted by one-sided calling, man. It is very tough to watch. I think it's bad for the game, and I think they're going to lose a lot of credibility if they continue to condone this misconduct. As far as like the congruency between aggressiveness, fouls being called, and like the reffing. And I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'm a little disappointed at what they're allowing, because now we're looking at a gassed out San Antonio versus 2 great competitors just competing it out. And I don't mind the toughness. That's the era I grew up in, was a tough era, but allow it on both ends of the court. I don't want to see one team getting these little fairy whistles and they flopping all over the place. We got eyes, my man. We got eyes. We can see. We can see that he didn't touch this guy. He fell all on the ground. Don't put your whistle in your pocket.
They shooting, jumping forward.
Put your whistle in your pocket. Come on, man. This guy jumped out the way and he throws his feet forward the last minute and falls on the ground. The guy falls on the ground after every shot. Like, what are we doing here? This is common sense. This is common sense. We're not, this ain't moving mountains. It's just like common sense. Use your eyes. And so hopefully they'll clean that up. But I think that played a big part in them coming out flat this past game. They're probably just like, what are we to do? We can't be our identity, which is being aggressive and fast flying and moving hard, because the refs and the calls are not in our favor. They almost feel like they're against us. So now let's try to embody a different identity on the court, and that'll throw you out your game. That'll throw anybody out of their game. Trying to figure out like, okay, well, I can't, okay. You get tired of complaining and arguing and talking about it. Then you just kind of, I saw Wemby's face when he was walking back in the locker room. He just kind of looked like, normally he's passionate. Normally he's like passionate. He's crying about a loss, or he's like, focused after a win. He just looked like you're like this, like what is it to do? And I don't want to shine away from the greatness of OKC, but I just want to see them earn it a little bit more. They need to get away from that very
I'll say this.
It's
You
not.
You have middle school kids that are flopping now.
It's not good playing, man. It's not good basketball, brother.
They're supposed to be the example of good basketball because
that's not
they're
good basketball.
a defending championship team, and you have middle school kids mimicking a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and flopping in middle school.
It's not good basketball. And I don't think that they want that on their legacy. Like, you don't want to diminish your legacy by playing with a lack of toughness and a willingness to just do any little thing. It's just a weakness to me that I don't like to see, man. And I don't think these players, if they really knew, wouldn't want that even associated with their name, just a weakness. Like, you're willing to flop and steal points and steal possessions. Like, what happened to being a competitor, being a warrior out there, man, earning it, being proud to hold up that trophy, man? Like, what happened to that? Like, come on, man. How's that even in you? Like, the spirit of these guys I've been questioning about their fighting tenacity spirit. Like, it's hard for me to look at any one of them 5 guys on that court and look at them as a tough guy. And you ain't got to be a tough guy like mean and aggressive, but just as far as being just a warrior on the court, Warriors ain't got that in them. No, I want mine out the mud, man. No, I want to earn them 2 points. I'm not gonna step on your foot and slide across the ground. That'll just make me feel, And so I hope that they figure that out because, man, it's tough to watch. And I don't want to take anything off the greatness of OKC because they're way too talented to go out like that. They don't have to win like that, And I think ultimately I just want them to understand, y'all don't have to win like that. And this is even bigger than that. If you do have to win like that, maybe you don't deserve to win, my guys. Time to look in the mirror and have a gut check.
Facts. Feel that.
Best team need to win, but you got to play.
But you got to play basketball.
Come on, man.